Mic'd up.
From Lowlifes. Highlights from Lowlifes.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Highlights from Lowlifes. We are the Lowlifes. This week we will be talking about the top 5 worst decisions in sports, in our opinions. Let me introduce everybody first. This is Rob Lanterman, Marty Brown, and Terry Lee. Rob, before we get going, nice.
That's Tiger to you.
Before we get going, you want to plug our intro song and our artist?
Hey, Rob, who sang that jingle?
Well, that jingle was done by singer-songwriter Shelby Ann. Look her up, shelbyann.com, shelbyannmusic.com, on all the things, Facebook, Instagram, on all of that stuff. She's working on that for us, a couple other little bumper songs, and she is available for hire as needed for both performing events and writing jingles.
She wrote it and completely wrote the lyrics and music.
Yep.
And we paid top dollar.
Yeah, absolutely. We avoid copyright problems that way.
But I think my check bounced. But
yeah.
Well, tell her we'll bell her.
Oh, yeah,
yeah. So, as everybody knows, we started out as a bunch of ragtag, bunch of ball players that when during COVID, we started doing these Zoom calls just so we could hang out. And we had so much fun. We blackmailed a pod company to let us do it on their format. So here we are.
Oh, by the way, their check bounced too.
Yeah. All right. So let's get going with our topic tonight. Top 5 worst decisions in sports. Now, if you remember a few weeks ago, Mr. Lanterman thought that we were doing this topic, I don't know, Thanksgiving, somewhere around there.
Yeah, and I've been begging to do it ever since because I had a great list.
So since he had this list for so long collecting dust, why don't he start us off?
All right. Hey, before we get started, how's dry January going for you guys? That's what I thought. Okay. I was waiting for Marty to go dry January is for quitters.
That because it's snowing outside. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Dry. It's snowing outside.
If you don't know Marty, he lives in Reno.
Yeah.
It is raining here in sunny California.
Oh,
in the Bay Area. Pretty good rain.
Yeah, nothing here, but I digress. All right, so my number 5 worst decision in sports in the 1998 American League Championship Series, Chuck Knobloch, playing the infield, started arguing a call with the umpire, and runners kept running around the bases, and I believe 2 runs scored while Knobloch argued the call and the ball trickled away up the right field line. That was, kind of a big mistake, I would say. Bad decision to sit there and argue with the umpire while a live ball is in play.
Bonehead.
So that's my number 5. Look that up on YouTube. It's hilarious to watch it on YouTube.
Hasn't that happened a couple of times? Wasn't there a pitcher that was covering first base and did the same thing?
Yeah,
I don't remember who it was.
And you can see the look like they want to be outraged and now they're embarrassed. And it's a really funny kind of a juxtaposition. So if you get a chance to look it up on YouTube, I highly recommend it.
Nice.
All right, Tiger.
All right.
What do you got?
How's everybody? 1989.
Take your time. Think it out.
I'm just trying. I can't even read my own writing here. Let me get my flashlight and magnifying glass out.
Try it in Braille.
Oh, I know. We ain't getting no younger. 1989, the gambling scandal of Pete Rose.
Oh,
this was a blunder on his part. He denied it for 15 years, and he will not be ever in the Hall of Fame, in the Cooperstown Hall of Fame because of that. And also to add on to that, there's an NBA ref named Tim Donaghy. He also gambled for the make a difference in the outcome of a game. He's banned from sports. Huge decision blunder.
Yep.
Jonesy?
All right. I'm going to go a little further back. 1926.
Just a little further.
What were you, like 12?
Yankees were playing in the World Series.
That was in the 1900s.
And they're down by a run. And the other team walks Babe Ruth. And there's 2 outs. And they got the rally going. And Babe Ruth decides to try to steal second base against the Cubs. Gets tossed out by a mile. World Series over. Yankees lose.
Yeah, wow.
What the heck was he thinking?
Well, maybe there's an asparagus festival over the left field fence.
We are going to tell that story on a future podcast. Marty, over to you.
Thank you. Everybody's goes back in time. I'm going to go back to last week. I heard this secondhand, and I thought, you've got to be kidding. That's one of the dumbest decisions I've ever heard. And it was made by the Oakland A's. Now, the Oakland A's have enough problems on their hands right now and have pissed off enough people because they're leaving Oakland to go to Vegas eventually. But don't they have to play there this coming season?
Yeah,
So
when does their contract?
It's,
When does their contract end?
I
With
think
the
they have at
Coliseum?
least 2 more years.
I think it's one more. I think it's 1 year, but maybe
Okay.
it may be 2. But
One more season.
Given that, why would you? You've already alienated the fan base, so you really shouldn't anticipate a lot of people coming to the ball games. But then there's another team in Oakland that's already committed, wants to pay the money for the down payment to play an exhibition game, and it was the Oakland Bees, or the Ballers that
the
they're
new
called,
independent
right?
team.
The new independent team. They're going to play a game at the Coliseum,
Or they want to.
and the Oakland A's say no.
They
You
blocked
get
them.
our stadium. So you've already pissed people off by leaving and telling them pretty much you don't give a shit what they think. So before you're even out the door, you make a brilliant decision of pissing off people again in a game that was supposed to be not so much the team itself, but a baseball unity game to bring Oakland back as a community of sports. And you pissed
your bunghole.
and you pissed on that too.
What's amazing is that
Well, good luck. Good luck. I think the attendance for opening day might be 12. Good luck, Oakland A's.
You've
What
heard
about it?
the fans are doing their own fan fest.
Nice. Nice.
They got a couple of former players that are tied to Oakland, and they're doing their own fan fest instead of letting the A's run one.
what's amazing is that us Sandlot players, we can rent the stadium and play there ourselves. I've played there. Has anyone else played in the
We
Coliseum?
played
yet?
for at the fantasy camp perk was to
Right.
play there, play
Yeah.
a game there.
And why don't they, the Bees are just going to pay and play just like anybody else.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Thinking
Again,
about it.
and I heard about this. I said we have a lot of baseball blunders throughout sports, but this one's got to be on the list.
It's
So that's
certainly-
my number 5.
certainly the most current.
Yeah.
So so again, that's the first round. So
That's the first round.
okay, Jeff, kick off round 4.
All right. Let's see. 1986, again, World Series. When you go away from your script that's worked all season just because it's a World Series, things start to add up against you. And all the whole season, John McNamara of the Red Sox would pull Bill Buckner late in the game for defense. And the one time he says, let Bill be out there on the field for the end of the game. Not so much.
Yeah.
Oop, right between the legs.
I think I'll let him finish.
Wicket.
Bill Buckner.
Yeah.
Bad decision.
Yeah, and that's on McNamara.
Oh, definitely. That's on
Yeah.
McNamara. If you watch the play, you can see that he has no mobility at all.
It's crazy how good that guy could hit, even when he
Oh.
was hurt like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he can't move.
Yeah.
He just
Yep.
couldn't move at all.
No.
All right. Over to Terry Lee.
All right, number 4. 1990s MLB steroid era. What's amazing is if you look these up, you look under the worst decisions in sports, there are thousands of them. To think that people are, our pro athletes are role models, and we have hundreds of these character flaws in these guys and women that are just scary. All right, so
All right, rant over. Back to the topic.
all right, 1990s, the MLB steroid era. The U.S. Congress had to get involved with this one.
Yep.
McGuire, Sosa, Bonds, and the Rocket. What a bunch of dummies. Poor decision.
Allegedly, in
Alleged.
some cases.
Well, yeah, one person.
Yeah.
Well, there are supplements, of course.
Yeah.
Everybody else had no excuse.
Yeah. McGuire and Bonds just blew up because they ate green vegetables. That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Robbie.
Come on.
All right, I got so many.
I know they're
Just-
He's
they're
so
hundreds.
prepared.
And it's aged. It's an age list.
We
They're
should
like
have
wine.
Yes, it is.
we should have changed the topic just for fun.
Throw the dust off of this
I
thing.
should have done it at the last second on him too.
All right, I guess I got to do a Giants one since we're all Giants guys. The 2002 World Series, Game 6. Russ Ortiz pitching a gem, gives up a weak contact ground ball hit and a weak contact pop fly hit. And both of them are jammed on the hands. The balls are running in on the hitters. And they fought it off and did a great job. And Dusty Baker decided it was time to pull Russ Ortiz from the game. So that was bad decision one because Ortiz was pitching really well in that game. And they 3-run lead. They were closing in on their first World Series from San Francisco. And Dusty made that decision. And I thought that was a little too knee-jerk reaction. And then to upset the baseball gods, he gave Russ Ortiz the game ball on top of it
Oh,
as he left the mound in the 7th inning.
wow.
So that cost them that World Series, both literally and empirically when you look at the grander scheme of upsetting the baseball gods. So I love Dusty Baker; he's a great guy, and it's sad, but that was just a bad decision on every level.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're holding your breath and then you just let it all out.
Yeah.
Totally deflated.
Yep. All right, who's left in this round?
Marty.
Hey, Marty.
Yeah.
Why don't you go?
Okay, thanks. I guess what in
Oh, the crowd
analyzing
loves this
things.
guy. The crowd loves this guy.
Okay, your check's in the mail, but don't worry, that'll bounce too. All right.
We'll bail you.
I guess looking at my list, like I said, there are mistakes made by players that was discussed, managers, and I guess mine seemed to is a lot of them has to do with owners, general managers, and administrative guys. But I can't let this one. I wasn't sure about this, and I can't let this one go. But I'm not a fashionista. But 1976.
Oh yeah.
You got to be kidding me. Who didn't
Chicago shorts?
The Chicago shorts. And like the number 5 example of the Oakland A's, who's in charge here? Who's thinking about these things? Who's making it? I mean, come on. The blood ain't flowing in the right direction on these minds on these people. Unbelievable.
And that was what year? 76. 6. Yeah, well,
yeah.
70s was the years of trying to be different.
I'd wear it.
I mean, if you think about it, how hot and humid it gets.
You wouldn't look bad in that one, Jeff. That's all right.
I wouldn't. I'm not going to slide. But other than that, I'm good.
But not the shorts. But look at the stupid collar. Also,
I was going to say. Oddly enough, the collar would be the thing that would bother me the most.
Yeah.
What are you thinking,
brother?
You know what he was thinking. What you drinking?
Hey! Very well.
Yeah, it's our favorite segment.
What you drinking?
I just want to let it go. As always, though, the Highlights from Lowlife show is sponsored by Almanac Brewing in Alameda, California, one of America's leading craft beer producers. We're proud to be drinking their beer on air and after the show, for that matter. We all like to drink different things from these guys. They're known for their Love Hazy IPA, probably their most famous beer, but I like their lager series, the current release. Hopefully it's going to be changing pretty soon. I'm looking forward to a new one, but the Porch Light Lager is delicious. And normally I do my little call sign about, like a moth to a light, I'm drawn to this beer, but I'm not going to do that tonight. So what are you guys drinking?
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah, done.
Hey, check this out. In the back of my mini fridge, it's a Rocktoberfest.
Nice.
It is the last one. I was restocking and I saw this shining light in the back of my fridge.
Wow.
I think I might have one of those
too
still
old.
left.
That was a delicious beer, and
yes, it was.
It's still fresh. If you see them in the market, buy them because they're still fresh.
Nice.
Just can't wait till next October, but that means Christmas will be right around the corner. So
Yeah,
I'll enjoy this now. How about you?
tried and true.
I am.
What a surprise! Somebody's got to represent the culture around here. Everybody else is going to different things. I'm sticking with it. So it's my favorite. Almanac True Kolsch.
Love the Kolsch.
And like the true leader Jeff is, got to follow. There we go.
Finally, some other representation.
I had you pegged for the flow tonight.
Okay, there's remnants left. So, but now and again, it's Kolsch, true Kolsch. Which I've looked it up in German. That means, damn, that's good stuff.
We got a couple of what you drinking calls that coming in too.
Oh, very nice.
Let's hear it.
JC from Scottsdale. Couldn't find any almanac in Arizona, so we went to the Grapevine restaurant for a quick Scottsdale Blonde on draft and dinner. Ooh. I say quick because we had to get out of there. It was the worst karaoke I'd ever heard. We needed Tiger and Joe Matlin there to raise the talent level.
Well, I figured Teddy Bear did something to get him kicked out, but
So just for the viewers at home, JC and Teddy Bear are two of our regular callers and contributors to the show, and they are in Scottsdale right now for baseball fantasy camp. So we're probably going to talk about fantasy camp here in an upcoming show. But they're down there having a good old time, so that explains a lot of their problems.
Have
Big
fun,
Juicy
have
checked
fun
in too.
boys.
Yeah, Big Juicy.
Hey guys, as I mentioned last week, this week, right now, I am drinking Almanac's Texas Blue Corn Whiskey Barrel Stout. Oh boy, is it delicious. 11.5 ABV, so watch it. Make sure you're not driving anywhere, but boy, it is smooth. Great mouthfeel, super strong bouquet of whiskey. I love it.
Wow.
That is a ringing endorsement if I've ever heard one.
Yeah, really.
We went to Big Juicy and I went to the golf course together. I gave him 2 stouts. He gave me one back. Enjoy, Big Juicy.
Yeah.
You gave him 3 strokes on that last hole too. Yep. All right, let's get out of what you're drinking before it just careens off the rails. Almanac Brewing, Alameda, California. Stop by and visit them. Let them know you heard about them from the Highlights from Low Life show. They may take pity upon you. Back to you, Jeff.
Who's going to start round 3? You know, Marty's finished both rounds off. Let him start this one.
Oh, okay. It's not only the call that did it. It was the timing of the call. I mean, you're about to win a Super Bowl. It's in the books. There's just less than a few moments left. And you had the best running back in the league that year. You're down. You're losing late in the game. But you have the ball on the 2-yard line, and you've been running it all the way down the field with less than, I don't remember the time, but I think it was couldn't have been more than a minute. And the Seattle Seahawks and Super Bowl 49 decide we're going to mess them up. Aha! We'll trick them. We'll throw the ball to the defensive back on the other team.
Yeah.
And it was why? And the Patriots got one of their 6 Super Bowls just by handing it over. And we did a gift show around the holiday season. I brought this up again. What more can you call that? But here, have a title.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas. What a silly. Seattle Seahawks giving the Super Bowl to the New England Patriots.
I don't remember the guy's name, but that safety that made that play
Malcolm
said after the game that they had watched, there was one play that they ran like 3 times during the year, and they used this one specific formation. It's the only play they ran out of that formation. And he recognized it and knew exactly where that pass was going to go.
Wow.
So as bad as the decision was on Seattle's part, that guy made a great decision recognizing the play. And all I have to do is run to the spot.
It pays to watch films.
Yeah.
Literally 3 plays in the entire year they ran out of that one formation only. And that guy recognized it.
Unbelievable.
Malcolm they could have handed it off, kept it on the ground, and just powered themselves into the win.
Yeah. Because there's no way they were going to stop him.
All I can figure is they thought they would catch him off guard with a pass play.
They caught him.
Well, of course, everyone expected them to run with the beast.
Except for that one safety.
Yep.
I just go over here and wait.
Stand right here. He's going to throw it right to me.
Yep. Wow. They even thought of signaling a fair catch, so they can't tackle him.
We have a topical response from JC that just came in too. This particular.
This just in part for that decision and many others, Pete Carroll has been told his services are no longer needed as head coach of the Seattle Seahawks.
That is correct.
Yep. Is that it came down today? True?
Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe they can get that Washington Husky coach to do it. At least at least they get it to the finals.
All right, Marty, choose somebody.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Sorry about that. Tiger.
All right.
I haven't been drinking. What are you talking about?
Worst decisions in sports. Robin Ventura
God.
charging Nolan Ryan.
Beat me to it.
My number 1. Oh man.
Oh, look that one up. There's even a bloody bobblehead. It's great. Enough said. Jonesy? Sorry.
All right. Since that's out,
I sat on this for 6 weeks.
What's amazing is that with this list, there's so many honorable mentions
yeah.
because there's so many huge blunders.
Unbelievable.
So I'm gonna call up one of my honorable mentions in that case. Not knowing that the game is officially over. So you take your entire band and run on the field while the play's still happening. The Stanford band jumps on the field while the play is still happening. That and the poor trombone guy, he got clocked.
Yeah.
I think he's still bells are ringing in his head after that.
The thing that surprised me is these are a bunch of smart kids. They should know when a football game is and isn't over. I mean, it was just, like I said, it's not a big deal. But come on.
Robbie.
Key word there, kids.
I think I'm going to go with now that everything's all screwed up on my list.
Oh, wah! Where's the wah? Wah?
Did we just wipe out your whole list?
Yeah.
Your whole top five?
Utter chaos after all this time now. Yeah,
you
I'm
thought
going to
you-
go with Ron Artest. You guys
Oh,
worried
yeah.
about
Oh,
it,
sure.
right? But
Oh,
Ron
yeah.
Artest thinking that he could take on the entire city of Detroit in the Nelson Palace game. After the hard foul on Ben Wallace, there's a lot of pushing and shoving, and then fans started screaming, and Ron Artest went into the stands thinking he could fight 18,000 people from Detroit in their home arena. Yeah, that's kind of a messed up choice on his part, I would say.
And if you notice, nobody came to his rescue right away.
Yeah. You're on your own, dude.
He was surrounded.
Everybody looked at the teammates looked around. Do we have to?
And this was the guy was like right behind the bench, and he went up into the stands, and his teammates are looking back. What are you doing?
Yeah. We're all going to die because of you.
20,000 fans shaking their fist and finger at us.
And a young 6-year-old Draymond Green was in the crowd that night.
Oh yeah.
I
don't
want
know,
to
but
be.
it makes the story complete, right?
Role models, I tell you.
When I grow up, I want to be just like you.
All right, yeah, so that's mine. Ron Artest deciding to fight Detroit.
Yes. The city of Detroit.
And I believe that caps round 3, right?
Is that 3?
Robbie, who starts round 2?
Let's throw it right to you, Jeff.
Alrighty.
So you can screw up the rest of my list.
Yeah.
And he's doing a hell of a job, I think.
And I tell you, there are hundreds of blunders to pick from.
So I've had Babe Ruth and the Yankees. I've had the Red Sox. Let's go back to that combination one more time.
Oh, here we go. God.
There goes his honorable
Let's take
mentions.
the best player in the history of baseball and sell him for chump change over to our extreme rival
Oh yeah.
and go into a decades-long slump of woe.
The curse.
But the Red Sox selling Babe Ruth to the Yankees.
Yep. Who just went on to go and win 4 World Series titles.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
And just to
Yeah.
pay a little rent.
I do like the legend a little better that they were going to finance that musical. What was it? Bye Bye Babette.
Oh, yeah. I've heard that.
That gives it more of at least it gives it a Mel Brooks type feel.
Yes.
Wasn't Damn Yankees?
Producer.
Damn Yankees.
Terry.
All right, number 2. This is another tremendous sports decision. It's a sports person making a really terrible decision. It had all the men, all the women, and all the children absolutely hate him. Michael Vick dog fighting scandal.
Oh, yeah.
2007. His legacy is destroyed.
Yeah.
Anytime someone says Michael Vick, the next 2 words that come out of your mouth is dog fighting. And anybody with a pet can't believe that he was involved with that. What a dork.
And I will add on to that, not only him, but the teams that hired him after he got out of jail. I'll add them to the list.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some things that you do that should take you out of life, out of the public eye completely. Like I said, they're not role models.
Yeah.
Marty?
Number 2. How do I phrase this? You guys weren't around, but I was.
So
And I
1874.
No, that's right. Right.
That'd be the 1800s.
And you have to appreciate the guy for getting into a situation and trying to exacerbate himself from it by doing something.
Wait, what?
Did you say water bait?
Just keep going, Marty. Just keep going.
All right.
Power through, Marty.
You're gonna yellow carded for that too.
Who was in Super Bowl 7?
I don't remember.
See,
7.
I remember. But how about if you don't remember the team, but you remember the name, Garo Yepremian?
Oh yeah.
Garo Yepremian was the kicker for the the Miami Dolphins against the Redskins.
There's a whole song about his episode.
The kick got blocked. So he's being, a player. He's trying to make the best of the situation and throw the ball. But the only problem is he goes back, and his arm goes forward, but the ball stays there. And he bounces up and around, and by the time it lands in the hands of one of the Redskins players, who runs it back for a touchdown. And it was a close game, and I think that was that 7
deciding
points was
factor.
the difference. That was
Yeah.
So it was a dumb decision, but it memorable. Garo Yepremian. All right.
Where's he from? What country is he from? Is he European?
Miami. He played for Miami.
I know, but he's this is a
That's
person,
all we got.
This is a person who grew up never touching the ball with his hands.
Armenian. Armenian.
It was
A soccer country.
It's football, soccer football country.
We're gonna say Brazil.
We'll have to check out with our assistants on that one. Where's Garo Yepremian from? Yeah. Don't handle the ball, just fall on it, really.
It's probably from Yugoslavia, which is great because I like saying that word. Jeff's looking it
that's
up.
only because
I don't even know how to spell it.
it's only because Czechoslovakia is
But-
not anymore.
If that wasn't enough fun for you guys, I have a second number 2.
No.
Yeah.
No. What?
No.
No.
Save it for your honorable mention.
All right, fine. Lannerman, go ahead.
Oh, you did it.
Speaking of number 2.
We said wait, Marty. All right. My number 2 then. I think we've brought this up before, but it is a horrible decision. The coach was John McVay, who is one of the funniest coaches of all time. So I'm sad to pin this on him, but he has only himself to blame. John McVay and the New York Giants in November 1978, with just a few seconds remaining in the game. Giants leading the Eagles 17-12. Rather than hike the ball and take a knee to let the clock run out, they decided to take one more play. And one of the most reliable running backs of all time, I think he's got one of the lowest fumble ratios to carries in the history of NFL. Larry Zonka is their running back. Joe Pisarcik, you haven't heard of him, and this is why. Joe Pisarcik took the snap and turned and tried to do a handoff to Larry Zonka, and somehow hit him somewhere in between the pelvis and the knee. Actually, where your hands are not on a handoff play is where exactly he put the ball. The ball bounced off of Zonka. Herman Edwards picked it up, ran it in for a touchdown as time ran out, and the Eagles went on to win 19-12, or 1917. I'm sorry, the Miracle at the Meadowlands. And the Eagles coach, by the way, Dick Vermeil, Napa Valley resident. So anyway, I just thought I'd throw that in.
Yeah.
But what a horrible decision. I don't think anybody has run a play in a close game with the clock running out ever since.
Yeah.
So it's probably something we'll never see again.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it gave rise to the victory formation.
Yeah.
Yes.
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 Does that
All right.
complete round two?
I think it does.
I think it does.
Man, we're making time.
Robbie, want to address a couple of shows that we got on this app?
Yeah, you guys, if you're watching us live, you're watching on the Mic'd Up app. And the great thing about this app is that we can do shows like this, and you at home can interact, or in your car, you can interact with us, or as you're walking downtown, you can still interact with us by hitting the mic button at the bottom, leaving some comments, crack wise, insult Marty's clip on tie, whatever you need to do. It's all available in the live show here on the app. So,
And you can do that before the show or during the show.
yeah, you could even do it after the show. It
We're
won't
not
do
gonna
any
see
good, but before and during are the better choices. But we're on this app, and there are several other people that do shows on here. I'm going to quickly, in half the time that our compatriot Rob Weber does it.
1/4 of the time.
Yes. The Jason Demers, who is a broadcaster with the Sharks team, has a show on here, and he pops on from time to time talking about issues with the Sharks, and boy, do they have a lot of them. Rick Barry, NBA Hall of Famer Rick Barry, has a show on here, and he talks about basketball in his time. He talks about the current players. He'll talk anything to do with basketball and maybe even a few other sports if you throw it out there. But Rick Barry is super opinionated and quite an entertaining listen, so we highly recommend his show. There's another show on here. At first, when you hear it, you don't think too much. You like Jim Darby. He's got this show, and it's called Bears and the Bigs. But it's not all about Cal Bears that went to the big leagues. He worked for Easton and Mizuno Sports for a number of years and worked on the pro relations team. So he's got great stories about guys that he worked with in professional sports over the years. From Pete Rose is a first name that comes to mind since we mentioned him earlier. But lots of guys that he worked with in that field. So it can be a quiet, entertaining show to listen to. So I highly recommend that one. And then there's also the Florida Sports Hall of Fame show. John Rieger, former PGA pro, is actually a really good interviewer, and they talk to people in all sorts of worlds of sports that are from Florida. It's really interesting. A couple of the shows are people that you would normally like, a woman that sailed across the Pacific Ocean by herself. It was actually really fascinating to listen, and they're a really great interview. And then lastly, there's this damn Yankees show on here. It's called Yankees Coast to Coast, and they talk about everything Yankees. I think they're talking about stadium food and stuff this week, but they're kind of funny because these guys will sit on this thing and they'll be having this horrible, loud, obnoxious argument, and they're all agreeing. They're saying the same thing. So if you want to listen to New Yorkers rant and rave about the Yankees, tune into Yankees Coast to Coast. So there we go. There's a bunch of other shows on here. Pick up the app or dig into your app and take a look what's out there.
Very nice.
Thanks, Rob.
On to round one.
All right.
Terry, why don't you start us off?
Number one. My number one is number two. He's Oakland Raider quarterback, 2007. He was the first pick. How about this? He comes to spring camp at 265 pounds. 3 seasons later, he comes in at 290 pounds.
Oof.
Jamarcus Russell, the biggest embarrassment ever. I really wanted to like him because he just had so much talent and he was so ready to be good, and he's so messed up in the head. So he's my number one worst decision in sports, and his number was number two. He put a big number two on my number one.
And this all came from Al Davis, the man who gave us Daryl LaMonica and George Blanda,
Yeah,
and the snake, and the snake.
Bullet McCall.
All these great quarterbacks, and then we went to
Loyal.
you said Marcus Russell,
Jim Otto, all those really loyal Raider players, that we kind of grew up with in the 60s and 70s, and then the new generation of Jamarcus Russell,
Mark Wilson,
embarrassing, all about themselves.
Yeah, sorry, Tony.
Yeah, so one of our listeners,
Chuck Arthur,
and a good friend, Tony, is a huge Raiders fan.
They can't
unapologetically.
Let's not forget Chuck.
Chuck.
Sorry, Chuck.
Chuck.
Yeah, Chuck never calls in anymore, so
they can't deny the fact that he was all about himself. And it's probably pretty good that the Raiders were not in Vegas when Jamarcus Russell was still playing, because he would be
laid out on the strip somewhere midweek.
Didn't they also draft Todd Marinovich?
Yeah. There you go. That was Todd Marinovich. He went to USC. He went to pro camp since he was like 12 years old.
Yeah.
He's trained by pros, and he was good then.
Good college player.
And then he got high, so we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Well, he was a rather tall guy, tall individual.
Sure.
So I wonder he got a little high.
He ain't no Timmy.
No.
Jonesy.
All right. My number one will not be a surprise to anybody who has talked to me about sports for any length of time, including listening to these shows. And it's my only serious one of the list. But the worst decision in all of sports is to keep the Negro League players out of Major League Baseball. End of story. Major League Baseball and this country would have been a hell of a lot better had they been allowed to play.
Yeah, no question.
And we missed out on some great memories and some great stats.
Talking about embarrassing.
Yeah,
our owners.
Yeah,
our baseball owners just
from the stuff we've been fortunate to do all those baseball trips, and the stuff that we've learned on there. For every guy that was just vehemently against them playing, there were two guys that loved to play against the Negro Leaguers on the barnstorming tours.
Yep, exactly.
They all talk about we're playing against a level of competition we don't see anywhere else.
Yeah,
they actually really loved that. So it's good to know that that's out there. It's sad that it didn't happen sooner.
And not only that, we would have some footage of them playing.
That was going to be my point.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we
would be able to see a Josh Gibson home run.
Yeah.
And Satchel Paige striking out the side.
Or double duty Radcliffe. I mean,
double duty Radcliffe.
The lift goes on and on and on.
Let's see how fast Cool Papa Bell really was, because I would have loved to seen that.
Yeah.
All right.
Tell us where that Hall of Fame is.
Oh, the Negro League Museum is in Kansas City, and I highly suggest you check it out. They have a great jazz museum right next door as well. But the museum is really cool. You will have memories from it for a lifetime. And
if you want to check it
out, they're building a new one around the corner where the old warehouse building where the Negro Leagues was officially formed, where
Right.
the owners got together and signed all the contracts and made the league. So they're expanding. They got a huge donation, so they're working on that. Small trivia fact for those.
If you want to look that up, it's nlbm.com.
Thank you, sir. And a little trivia fact for those out there and those musician fans out there. Geddy Lee made a huge donation. He stumbled across an auction that had hundreds of baseballs of Negro League players autographed. And he bought it and donated it to the museum, and it's all out there on display. It is really cool.
Very impressive.
Very much.
Yeah.
And Kansas City is a great town.
Oh,
Lovely
town.
Yeah.
And side note, the World War I Museum is in Kansas City as well. So if you want to do a museum tour, and that's just breathtaking. That's absolutely breathtaking as well. It's you can make a good long weekend trip to Kansas City.
Not to mention the arch, the stadium.
That's in St. Louis.
St. Louis.
St. Louis.
Close.
Sure.
Hey, that's my mistake.
But barbecue. You could
barbecue. Which one?
Barbecue. You could do a long weekend, have barbecue for every meal, and never hit the same place twice.
Yep.
Very true. And never have a bad meal.
And
pick up some Night of the Living Dead barbecue sauce.
Yes.
St. Louis.
And then go have some wings at the Peanut.
It was only about a 2-hour drive, right, from Kansas City?
About 3 hours.
3 hours.
Yeah.
Definitely stop at the
Columbia. Stop
Applebee's.
halfway at the Applebee's.
Probably short if we just stop at Applebee's.
Tell him Big
These
Juicy
are all
sent
inside
ya.
jokes,
Hey,
folks.
Big Juicy. Big Juicy. Hey.
All right, we better get back on track, huh?
All right, Marty.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, this is my third number one because Jeff took Babe Ruth to New York.
What? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And Tiger took Jamarcus Russell. So I guess
but he deserved it.
This was not a smart move in sports, but you couldn't help but feel sorry for the guy as it was unfolding, and it was a football game. The San Francisco Giants, listen to me. Gosh. Have another beer, Marty. Okay. All right. San Francisco 49ers were playing the Minnesota Vikings. It was in 1964. And Brody was the quarterback for the 49ers, and he goes back to pass, and he gets hit. And Jim Marshall picks up the football, and he's going to run for a touchdown. The announcer and it's captured for posterity as Jim Marshall's running the wrong way. He's running the wrong way. So Jim Marshall runs the wrong way. He scored a touchdown. He takes the ball. He throws it up in the air, and he's all excited. And then I must have, in his own mind, he must have turned around and thought, where's my teammates? Why isn't everybody running
his
around?
Own players?
Why aren't you congratulating me? Wait, what's going on?
His own players are trying to tackle him.
Why is the rest of my team 80 yards away?
Yeah.
Why do they all have their hands on their head?
And the other team's laughing. Why are they laughing? But and a little research that didn't cost them the game. The Minnesota still won 27-22. But it's captured for posterity, and as this unfolds and you're watching it, this poor man.
What was this? Was that a touchback or
safety?
Safety.
Yeah.
2 points.
2 points. Yep. Jim Marshall, poor guy. All right, Terry.
I've gone.
Robbie.
So Robbie's the last one.
Oh.
Okay, fine. I'm sorry.
All right. I'm going to switch it up so it'll be quicker, but it's funny. So I think the worst decision made in sports, and it's been repeated, and it puzzles me why you would do it. If you are a professional quality basketball player, maybe not NBA quality, but you could play in the Euro leagues. You have so many options. And there's some decent money out there for good players. Why in the world would you decide to play for the Washington Generals? And you know you're going to lose. You're going to lose every single night.
Even if you win, they don't
If
like
you
people.
play
don't
well,
like
yeah.
you.
If you play well and go for the win, you're going to get booed. That is a no-win situation. You are just. I don't understand it. I think anybody that's just one of the worst decisions you can make to be a Washington General.
Who do the Generals play against?
The Harlem Globetrotters over and over and over. And there are some skilled quality basketball players that could do a lot better for themselves elsewhere. We could be the Generals and it would be funny.
It would be like playing against Savannah Bananas.
Yeah,
that
team.
Much.
Yeah.
If you beat them, you're still the losers.
Yeah. No, you never get to sign an autograph. Nobody wants a picture with you.
Just run off the field.
If you're playing in the Latvian professional league, you're going to have a lot more fame and fortune than you are as a Washington General. That's all I'm going to say. Stupid decision. All right, there you go.
Very nice list. Very nice list. Do we want to go comments or honorable mentions first?
Let's go comments. We got
let's see what people got to say.
All right.
Yeah, people are probably tired of hearing us. Let's see what the comments are.
You want to do it, Robbie?
Hey guys, my number 5 is the Edmonton Oilers trading Wayne Gretzky. Back in 1988, they had just won the Stanley Cup championship, and Gretzky was really the star and a rising star. And they trade him away to the LA Kings. And you could argue that the Oilers weren't the same for at least a decade after that, until Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl came along in 2015.
All right, Big Juicy made this a.
They also traded in that trade was Marty McSorley. That was his enforcer, Gretzky's enforcer. My favorite, my two favorite.
My number 4 is the All-Star Game winner. Determining which league has home field advantage in the World Series. What difference does that make? It should be the two teams that are playing in the World Series, and who has the better record should be the home team for the series, have home field advantage for the series. So I think this is a pretty stupid decision made by MLB.
Now, have they abolished that now?
Yeah, it's gone.
That's gone.
Yeah. But it went for how long did
number 3 is a decision made by a fan to try to catch a foul ball, and it screwed up his life for a decade afterwards. And I'm sure he regretted the attempt to get one baseball at a game between the Cubs and the Marlins. I'm talking about Steve Bartman.
I was going to say, I don't remember his name.
For a
Bartman.
decade of harassment and police protection and everything else because of that one play.
Yeah, when they won in 2016, I don't think anybody was happier than Steve Bartman.
My number 2 is allowing corporate sponsors to have naming rights as well as marketing activities associated with college bowl games. This year, the example that I have is the Pop-Tart Bowl. It used to be called the Cheez-It Bowl, but this year it's the Pop-Tart Bowl. And after the game was over, at midfield, there was a big toaster with a Pop-Tart that pops out. And like a swarm of ants at a picnic, the winning team members all run over and begin eating it.
Not only did they give a large Pop-Tart for them to eat, but they had a Pop-Tart mascot come out before the game. He ran around all game, and then he went into the toaster after the game, and out came the actual Pop-Tart that was edible. So they introduced and killed the mascot in the same game.
See, you guys say this like it's a bad thing. All right, let's see what Big Juicy has for his number 1.
And my number 1, on a more serious note, a major decision in sports years ago, over the course of many years, was keeping blacks out of Major League Baseball for as long as the league did. Scandalous and it's sad commentary on state of racial relations in this country for as many years, keeping these talented players out of the big leagues.
Yeah. Well said. Well said.
Yep.
All right, here we go. I love saying this. We we got a list in from Ezra von Mermelschwanz.
Ezra von Mermelschwanz coming at you from Yankees Coast to Coast, right here on Mic'd Up every Thursday at 7 p.m. Great question.
Shameless
Naming
plug.
rights for ballparks, like the
Yeah.
Rappahannock School for Mentally Challenged Horses Ballpark in San Francisco. Good God, how many times can they hawk the name of that ballpark? Have some dignity, for God's sake.
Mr. von Mermelschwanz has a little more to say.
And a very close second to naming rights is advertising on uniforms. There's something about the dignified Dodger blue uniform with a bumper dumper sticker on the guy's shoulder. This is a real product, guys. Google it. Why don't they start advertising on a player's face or put a big sticker on his tuchus? That'll really sell a product.
So
And you
that's
say
what you
this
have to
guy's
look
from New
forward to.
York?
Yeah. Shocker.
Kind of sounds. Yeah. Okay.
Tuchus.
Tuchus. All right. Hey, our buddy Webby, who is on assignment, he checks in as well.
1999 Open Championship at Carnoustie. Jean Mandeville, all he needs is a double bogey 6 on the final hole to win the championship. Instead of laying up on his second shot, he goes for it. After a comedy of errors, he ends up with a triple bogey 7, goes into a 3-way playoff, and loses. The number 4 worst collapse of all time, according to USA Today.
Jean Vandevelde. Yep.
Wow.
Remember, he hit it into that little creek and then tried to play it out of the water, and it went further back
Back into the creek.
and stayed in the water.
A triple bogey. We play like pros.
Yeah, with
No.
a double bogey to
No.
win.
Yeah, right.
Stupid French people. Okay, hey,
We could have putted it from where he was and
Yeah.
done better.
JC.
There's a name for that kind of putt.
JC here from Scottsdale. Number 5, Scott Norwood for the win. Wide right.
Wide right.
I don't think he decided.
Number
to
4, Orlando Cepeda for Ray Sadecki. Number 3 would be Zach Wheeler for Carlos Beltran. Number 2 would be the in-season basketball tournament.
Oh, that's really ridiculous.
miss. With all those cars going by, you think
think
JC's
he's at
like
the
a
bus
Grand
station.
Prix fantasy camp?
I think he's at the Greyhound fantasy
Formula
camp.
One fantasy camp.
Yeah. Is he supposed to be on a baseball field? Oh,
Yeah. All right, here's his
He missed the
wrap up.
bus.
I guess.
JC back with number 1. And this is truly the worst decision in the history of baseball, at least. And that is to do the designated hitter in both leagues universally. It's a travesty. JC out.
Yeah.
What's
That time he sounded like
interesting-
he's
Well
waiting
done.
for an Uber.
Yeah. He's driving an Uber.
Robbie,
What's
I have a-
interesting about the designated hitters, the AL American League did it to be different, and now
Right.
the National League is doing it. It's
I want to hear that first comment from Ezra again with the naming rights, the ballpark
first?
naming rights.
Yeah, we can do that.
Ezra von Mermelschwanz coming at you from Yankees Coast to Coast, right here on Mic'd Up every Thursday at 7 p.m. Great question.
We should have skipped that.
Naming rights for ballparks, like the Rappahannock School for Mentally Challenged Horses Ballpark in San Francisco. Good God, how many times can they hawk the name of that ballpark? Have some dignity, for God's sake.
Only a New Yorker could wake up angry about the name of a ballpark.
Rappahannock School for
The-
disabled
the
horses.
horses.
Mentally
Mentally
disabled
challenged
horses.
And you guys think I drink too much. Son of a.
That's the name of my next strat team. All right.
Oh.
So, any honorable mentions?
I have
Oh
one.
yeah.
Yes.
There's
It would have been
hundreds
my
of them.
number one if I didn't want to finish with the Generals. Jim Joyce deciding not to ask for help in the Armando Galarraga perfect game.
Yes.
Oh,
2 outs in the 9th inning and calling the guy safe.
Oh,
And everybody and
yes.
their brother knew he missed the call. I think he even in the moment missed the call. If he had called the crew chief over, he could have asked for help, and they probably could have gotten Armando Galarraga his perfect game, but
Yep.
he did not. And that was just oof. That's a non-decision. That's a really bad non-decision.
Yeah.
So there's mine.
Marty,
He
how
didn't-
about-
and the
Yeah.
the ump didn't have the balls to ask for help either.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
that's exactly
that's the point. Yeah.
Marty, what do you got?
Leaving Gretzky off the list in the '89
Oh, they took him
the
out on
'98
shootout.
Olympics. Yeah. He's playing for the Canadians. This is Wayne Gretzky. He's playing in the Olympics, and he was omitted from the shootout list.
Right.
This
is Team Canada.
Team Canada,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. How do you justify that oversight?
And
Wow.
they lost the game.
They lost the game and went on and actually lost the from there
Playoff, yeah.
lost the bronze medal game. But anyway,
Yep.
Look it up if you're not familiar with it. But go back to the Cleveland's 10-cent beer night.
Oh yeah. What a mess.
yeah. Oh, that's right.
Wow.
Oh,
They had just as many problems in the men's room.
Oh, they had a few. There was a few issues that night. Okay. Yeah. So
I've got a couple here.
go ahead.
It's not. It's sports stadium related. Allowing Roseanne Barr to sing the national anthem. Talking about disrespecting every American in the country.
Yeah.
And here's a good one: the Phillies fan that ran onto the field that got tased.
Oh, nice.
Down goes Frazier on national television. Like the security guy just raises his taser and just drops him. It's awesome.
Yes. I got 4 real quick ones. I'll just quick fire them. Miracle on Ice game. The Russian coach pulls the goalie instead of leaving the veteran goalie instead of leaving him in, and they end up losing. Michael Jordan decides to play baseball.
That was a big mistake.
Chris Webber decides to call timeout in the final moments of a Final Four game when they had no timeouts.
No timeouts left.
Yeah.
And Jeremy Giambi decides not to slide.
Oh, jeez.
Yep.
Yeah, catcher swiped him on the leg. He could have easily scored.
The Derek Jeter
it would have been
flip,
tied,
and we had to hear about Derek Jeter for the rest of our lives.
Yeah, that was a pivotal moment because the
Yep.
Yankees were escalated and the A's were just gone. Done.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a pivotal moment for both clubs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anything else anybody wants to add, or are we going to wrap this thing up?
I'm good.
All right. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, everybody. We will see you back here next week. Topic to be determined, but keep an eye out on our social media feeds, and you'll
see all
the
the
information there. Thank you
thanks,
to
everybody.
Almanac once again. We appreciate you.
Hey,
Go see them
we
in
got
Alameda.
Oh, we got a late
a late entry.
This is a good one.
Yeah. Got to play it.
Honorable mention for me is Tiger Woods hooking up with hookers. At the top of his game with a great family, beautiful wife. Why do it?
Totally
Way to take us out with a bang there.
Not to mention,
literally and
his
figuratively.
his wife swung Nike clubs way better than he did. After
That's right. At least for one day.
broke his jaw, lost some teeth.
Oh,
All right. On that happy note, thanks for
All
joining
right.
us, everybody. And
Thank you.
we'll see you next week. Have a good night.